Hello Mavanians, today's video is about cardiovascular system, and before just going to the anatomy and the physiology of cardiovascular system, let us study the little bit introduction of what is exactly a cardiovascular system is. So cardiovascular system consists of your heart plus blood vessels. The role of heart is to pump the blood throughout the body, whereas the role of blood vessel is that it will be circulating it throughout the body. Now, when we are saying blood vessels, does not mean only the vein or the arteries, but also the combination of both. Now, as we all know, there are so many differences in the artery and the vein, but let's study the main difference, that is their structure. Both artery and vein will be consisting of 3 layers. I'm drawing the outermost layer with the red pen, that is your tunica adventia. Basically, it's a fibrous layer. I'm drawing the middle layer with the green one, that is your tunica media. And it is basically an elastic layer or made up of smooth muscles. And the innermost layer, I'm just drawing a lining with the yellow pen, that is your tunica intima. So basically it's an endothelial cells, and it is endothelial layer that is made up of squamous epithelium layer. So the artery and the vein both consist of the same layers, but the only difference in the artery and vein that the layer, that middle layer, that is your tunica media, is thinner in case of vein, as compared of artery it is thicker. Now, why the artery or why the walls or the arterial walls are thicker? Because it has to carry the blood with a high pressure. That's the only reason that there is a difference in the layers of the artery and the veins. Now, moving to the structure of the heart. So this was a basic introduction. Just moving to the structure of the heart. Before just moving to the structure of the, let's know what is heart. So it's a roughly, first point you'll be making, that it is a roughly conical shape. Organ which is hollowed, and we can also call it hollowed muscular organ. Why? Because it is hollowed, because it has to accommodate blood, and the muscular because it consists of a lot of muscles. Second thing, what's the length of this? It's 10 centimeter long. If you are talking about the weight, in case of male, the weight is your 310 grams. And in case of female, it will be your 225 grams. And basically where it lies in the thoracic cavity. So these are the points which we'll be learning. Again, I'm repeating the same point, but it is basically a roughly conical shaped, hollowed muscular organ. The length is 10 centimeter. The weight is 310 in case of man's, and 255 in case of female, and this lies in the thoracic cavity. So now, if we'll be studying the structure is, although the structure is very, very easy, but before that, we'll start our structure from the outside. So before starting the structure, the anatomy, let's study the layers of heart. So structure part. First point, we'll be learning that layers. Again, it consists of 3 layers. So I'm drawing like this. Yellow color I'm choosing for the parietal one. Sorry, pericardium, myocardium, endocardium. Now, this pericardium consists of 2 layers. That is your first one is your fibrous layer, which I'm drawing like this crisscross. Suppose I'm writing it fibrous layer. The second layer will be consisting of a double layer having sac. So inside sac you are having, like I'm drawing it like this yellow color. That is serous membrane. Yellow, this is a sac. I'm highlighting it the yellow color, the lemon yellow. Okay, so this is the first layer of your heart. That is your pericardium. Pericardium. Again, I'm telling you that pericardium is consisting of two layers. That is your pericardium is consisting of two layers. First one is your fibrous, that is your fibrous, and the second one is your serous membrane. Serous membrane will be having two layers. In between there is a sac which consists of pericardium fluid, which prevent heart from any external injuries. So there are two layers of the serous membrane. The first one we are calling it parietal pericardium, and the inner one is known as the visceral pericardium. The parietal pericardium will be lining or will be connected to the fibrous, and the inner one will be connected to the myocardium. So this is your myocardium, which consists of the cardiac muscles. Myocardium, which consists of the cardiac muscles, and we can also write that it is involuntary in nature. And the last one is your endothelium. I'm just marking it with E. So let's make the green wala is your endothelium, the last layer, the innermost layer, which is lining the heart, and the central one, which I am marking with the blue color, is your myocardium. That is basically made up of cardiac muscles, and the first one is your fibrous, and the first one is your fibrous. So this is the layers of these are the layers of your heart. So the heart portion is completed. Now let's move to the features. Let's move to the feature of heart, the structure of heart, the main structure of heart. Okay. Okay, let's draw with the red color. Okay. This I am drawing a rough diagram of heart. Heart consists of two sides, that is your right, that is your left. It is divided by a septum. This septum is made up of muscles. As you know that heart is a muscular organ, muscular hollowed organ. You have already studied in the previous point. So this is a septum. Septum is made up of muscles. Okay. So, and it is divided, this septum is dividing your heart into right and the left sides. So now this right and left side, right will be consisting of your impure blood, which is your deoxygenated blood, whereas your left will be consisting of the oxygenated blood, that is your oxygenated blood. Okay, so now even the right side is divided into two parts, that is your atrium and the right ventricle. Let me write like this. Okay. Even your left part is divided into two parts, that is your left atrium and the left ventricle. The bottom part, the below the bottom side these are the ventricles, these are the atriums. The muscles of the ventricles are much more thicker as that compared to that of the atrium, because they have to pump blood. And in case of heart, the left ventricle is the biggest chamber. We are calling these separate compartments a chamber. So basically, when we are studying that how many chambers do heart have, it is having 4 chambers. That is your right atrium, right ventricle, left ventricle. Okay. Now this muscles also I should highlight, so it will be easier for you to understand it. Okay. Now it will be having a thin as compared to the ventricle part, because it only have to pump blood to the next chambers. Okay, so the right atrium will be having 2 openings, that is your superior and the inferior vena cavas. Superior vena cava, I'm writing short form. inferior vena cava. Okay, these superior vena cava will be getting impure blood from the head neck region, whereas the inferior vena cava will be collective throughout the body. Now, these both are opening into right atrium. So right atrium right now is having a impure blood, which is deoxygenated blood. Okay, so now the once the once the right atrium is filled there, before starting the detailed study of heart, let me tell you that in heart there's only one way flow of blood. So the blood is flowing from this part, the right atrium. Later on, okay, let me tell you that impure blood with the blue wala ink, so it will be clear for you. Okay, now once the blood has entered the right atrium, it will be moving to the, once it is filled in the right atrium, it will be moving to the right ventricle by the opening of these valves. Valves are basically these valves are, this on the right hand side your valves are known as the tricuspid valve. The left hand side your valves will be known as the bicuspid valve or the mitral valve. Basically these are the semilunar valve. The semilunar cups, their shape is like this. So they work passively on the basis of how, on the basis of the pressure. If more pressure is exerted on the right atrium, these will open. And once there is more pressure in right ventricle, these will close. The opening and the closing of these walls depends on, not depends actually, they are functional. They are, the opening and closing is responsible with the help of chordiotendae. Let me draw this side so it will be clear for you. Now for this, I'm using different color. Let's use green color for the muscles and that cornea tendineae. I'm drawing this side from the myocardium itself. There is papillary muscles. On this side also there will be papillary muscles. The role of papillary muscles, that they from the papillary muscles, the cornea tendineae are originated like this. The contraction, the relaxation on these papillary muscles is for the opening and the closing of this valve. Let me draw like this on this side also. So I have marked these papillary muscles. These are papillary muscles. Let me write there, papillary muscles. These are your cornea tendineae, cornea tendineae. Okay, okay. So once the blood is filled, once the blood is filled in the right atrium, it will move to the right ventricle. We have written it with the blue pen. The impure blood we have written it with the blue pen. Now, from the right ventricle, once the pressure is increased in the right ventricle, what will happen? It will close the flaps. It will close these valves because pressure is exerted, and with the exerted pressure, these pressure will be exerted on the walls, this cusp-like thing, and it will close. And second thing, in the right ventricle, we are provided with the valve, we are provided with the pulmonary artery. Let me write it PA. Pulmonary artery, which will be carrying your blood to the lungs. Now, the pulmonary artery is guarded by the pulmonary walls. Pulmonary walls. Now, the blood is coming to pulmonary wall. Okay, when once the right ventricle constriction is taking place, the constriction will be like this. The blood will be pumped to pulmonary artery, and second thing, that the cusp will be closed, the tricuspid will be closed, and it will be bifurcated. This pulmonary artery is bifurcated, means it is divided into two, that one moving to each lung. I'm just drawing lung like this, one moving to each lung, and the purification, oxygenation, and the exchange of gases exchange will take place in the lungs, and from lungs the oxygenated blood will be brought to left atrium. Two veins from each, I'm drawing like this, two veins from each lung. So these are known as the pulmonary veins. This is the only vein, there is an exception, this pulmonary vein is the only vein which will be carrying oxygenated blood. That's all the veins will be carrying deoxygenated blood. Now, once the oxygenated blood has entered left atrium, Let me draw like this, and let me draw the blood, pure oxygenated blood with the, oh sorry, with the red one only. Okay, like this. Now this left atrium is now consists of full oxygenated blood. Now once the pressure is increased in the left atrium, it is thrown to the left ventricle by your the pressure which is exerted by the blood through the bicuspid wall. Now your left ventricle is very rich in the muscles, so because it has to pump the blood to the through it has to pump the blood throughout the body. So once the blood has entered here, the ventricle will constrict, and I'm drawing it here, although it is somewhere here, the structure somewhere here. I'll be sending you a, I'll send you a structure. I'll be sending you a structure of heart nicely. Now from here, it will be just moving to the, it is guarded by the arteric aortic valve, and it will be, the blood will be, oxygenated blood will be pumped to the aorta, and from aorta it will be supplied to, or it will be circulated in whole blood. So this is a basic structure of heart, and how the heart works. And this much for today's class, and in next class we'll be studying that how exactly the opening and the closing of the valves takes place. Thank you so much. Take care. We'll be seeing you in the next video. Bye.